Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
What's going on, everyone? This is your guy, Pat Bernard, alongside my man, Steve Fernandez. Steve, 6 points, back-to-back wins, 6 goals. Break down the math. My brain's starting to fry already, but it does feel good to rack up wins as predicted. However, I do got to get into this. You know, we still have in the back of our minds those 3 ugly, that little rough patch that we went through against NYCFC, against Miami. Steve, I got to ask you the question. Are you starting to believe? Are you starting to feel the Union? Are you starting to believe in the Bradley Cornell playbook? Are you still on the edge and you have to wait until they beat a top-notch team or what's it going to have to do for you? Because I'm on the ledge, pulling me back from going all in. If that makes any sense.
No,
my
absolutely.
Tootsies pull me back from going all in with this Union team.
Yeah, and hey, that's the Philadelphia Union in you, right? To still be, holding on and not being able to dive, all the way in and everything. But this is the month now, right? That I feel like a lot of Union fans, media have had marked on their calendar, right? From the time that they started the season, you start 3-0, some great goals, lighten up the scoreboard, and then things kind of fell off, like you said. And then the last 3 matches, they've handled business, right? Back to Union. And then especially the last 2, right? So now here comes May, where they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 MLS games, and they have 1 US Open Cup match, right? Maybe 2. Who knows? So you might have 9 matches maybe this month. So if you're on the edge and you're not quite there, this is going to be the month that they're going to convince a lot of fans, a lot of media that these guys in this club is serious. You got Dallas, Miami, and Columbus all in this month. And in between that, you got teams who you should beat. So it's going to be a juggernaut of a month. So it's going to be exciting, though.
Yeah, well, listen, before I go any further, first of all, Adam C says, good evening, Pat and Steve. Good evening to you, my man. Joe House checking into the show. Joe House says, hey, guys, what's going on, Joe? And Ricky says he's watching. What's up, Ricky? What's going on? So, again, we have, like I said, there's, like I said, a lot of things that are going on right now with the Philadelphia Union. Positives, and let's talk about a little bit about the game. Like, let's get into it because it was a good game. Scary though for the Philadelphia Union in that first half because let's believe it. Yes. Let's call for what it was. DC got a lot of scoring opportunities, a lot in that first half, and what scared me is they're lucky Christian Benick was not in this game at all because if he was, this game could have got ugly fast, and they're lucky that he wasn't available. They didn't have to deal with a real playmaker. Didn't have to deal with their playmaker. The defense was sloppy. It just seems like again the long stretch passes that catches it's snake biting this team. Luckily, you have Andre Blake, and I'll talk a little bit about Andre Blake in a little bit and how good he's been. But it's it's tough to again, like I said, very very first sloppy ugly half. And again, how about the mixture with the weather, right? A little rain, a little sun. You got some
Oh yeah.
sun, but what kicked this Union team into high gear? How good has been Freddie Westfield been with his vision at such a young age, finding the OG, finding the big dog, finding Jacob Glesnes alone in a mixture of all the players, finding him all by himself in a window of a scoring opportunity, and he goes top shelf. If you're a hockey fan,
Frankie, you said it. That possibly the most important piece to the Union's puzzle, I feel like, in additions, right? He was on the Union too, obviously, but he been full-time starter pretty much all season, and I feel like he has cemented his spot in the starting lineup from here on out. He understands his role. He is always hustling. It doesn't matter if they're up 3-0 or obviously if they're down, he's going to be hustling. He trusts his defending. He was on a yellow card for a good portion of that match, and he didn't stop his intensity on defense, because he trusts himself. He's a super confident kid. And like you said, that pass is he wanted his second assist of the season, and he got his second assist of the season, and it was on a banger of a goal. I think Glesnes has shown that veteran leadership, I think, to the defense at times, because like you said, there was cracks in the defense in the first half. And if it wasn't for Blake, I think DC definitely puts up a goal, like you said. If anyone else besides Blake is in net, so Westfield and Glesnes, it was a great 1-2 punch there for that goal, and super impressed by Westfield.
yeah, I mean, you look at Westfield, right, and just being at such a young age, and just being someone you could rely on as far as vision. We all know
Yeah.
Kai Wagner's got the eagle eye. We know Quinn Zolvin is pretty decent with the assists and finding teammates open. But for this young kid to be one of those guys, you can know what he's going to find somewhere open. He's going to use his vision. He's going to check down, do his reads, see who's open, what we went over in practice, and to find Glesnes in a crowd loaded with players. He finds them in a scoring opportunity, and the OG, the big dog, goes top shelf. If you're a hockey fan, and he goes top shelf, and the Sons of Bend went nuts. The nuts, and like you said, yeah, the bad side did Glesnes get a yellow card? Did was he getting cooked on defense? But for him to be a scoring option when he can add to it, that's fine. And this is what's going to kind of lead me into Briley Carnell, though. Briley Carnell, to me, can plug and play anybody in any formation, disguise what he wants to throw out at the opposing defenses. I mean, look what every lineup that he throws out into the field means something. In these last few games, it hasn't been the same rotational people. It hasn't been the same starting formation. He starts, he plugs and plays. Guys are coming off the bench. They're hungry. They want to make an improvement on their game. They work on things. And I never seen before. It's not always Ty Baribo that's going to get the start. We've seen that, and it worked. And we've seen things. Usually, if you sit down your starting player, something gets in their heads, and it's just the levels of competition Monday through Friday. What Briley Carnell sees on tape, what works. I mean, this is what we wanted out of a coach. I mean, he's all business. He's all business in this press conference. He's all business all the time with this squad. And look, it's paying dividends. And if you heard his press conference today, yes, is Montreal 0-7? Absolutely. But he's not going to look at this like it's going to be a day at the beach. He's treating this, as he said in the press conference today, there's 3 points on the line. We have to get them, and it's not going to be a day at the park. You know what I mean? They have to go in there and they're going to fight for it. Don't get happy feet. Don't let this become a trap game.
What grade would you give him so far? 10 games in? What's your overall grade for Carnell?
I'm going to give him. I think B plus is fair. I think
Yeah,
B
absolutely.
plus is fair to say. Joe Howe says it seems like after I start projecting the score, they keep on winning. Yeah, Joe, you're pretty decent with it. Um,
Keep guessing. Keep guessing.
Keep guessing. What do you say, Steve? Because the reason I give it a B plus. I mean, obviously the three losses were not pretty. Then again, you didn't have your starting goaltender. Uh, but listen, B plus for what I've seen. I mean, just the way he started, and the team's top three right now in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
You're there.
No, I like the grade. B plus, I think is spot on. I mean, you figure he's coming into a situation where he can already feel the fan base. He knows that the fan base loved Jim Curtin, right? So it's like, dang, he has that to deal with. Dealing with some injuries early on in the season. Harriel was coming off the bench, and you had to deal with lack of depth at your center back position, to start the season. Then you get a big injury with Glavinovich. Then the Gazdag trade, right? And then, like you said, you have a few slip ups. But even within those losses, that loss to Miami, they kept fighting. The loss to Nashville was bad. And then where was the other loss? What was the other loss?
New York.
To NYCFC, right? Yeah. Again, it's not like they got blown out that game. So I think he has this. He's done a good job. And you want to know someone who I think in the locker room who you can give some credit to as well is Bedoya. I think Bedoya has been a great asset and a great partnership in a sense to have that be that voice in the locker room as, hey, this is maybe what you need to do, because Curtin was stuck in his ways and no one was going to be able to talk to him and everything. And like you said, Carnell's business. He's business in every aspect, at the podium, on the field, in the locker room, in training, I'm sure. So I think he B plus 100%.
Yeah, and like Steve, there's nothing you said wrong. Before we go any further, Joe Hell also said, "I'm calling Philadelphia Union win this coming Saturday. 2-1.
He likes
Wow,
that 2-1. He likes that 2-1 score.
He's a big fan of the 2-1. He goes, Mr. Andre Blake comes up big again. Absolutely. And we're about to touch on him. But I like you said, Bradley Carnell, to touch on a couple of things you said, he came into a situation, not again, filling up big shoes to fill, right? He's coming in to replace Jim Curtin. We all love Jim Curtin because Jim Curtin was a people person. He comes in shaking hands with all the media, shaking hands with the fans, taking photos. He was all about that life, that blue collar guy coming in, straight shooter, trying to do the best he could with every situation. But then again, you have the Bradley Carnell to getting to know him. I mean, a little snippy, doesn't, but he's snippy because he's business, and it's busy Monday through Friday. Don't care what you think about him. He's here to have one objective, and is to win. You can not like him personally off the field. You can think he whatever of him, but he's done it. He's done the Philadelphia Union a favor. He's making first impressions are a lot, and again, a couple wins. If you really want to say he has the loss that he has, but outside of Nashville, I mean, it really hasn't been an ugly loss. I mean, think about it. He had Andrew FC game to me, on make a mistake. Other than that, he's been solid. So
I think your internet's breaking up. Did we lose Pat? I think we lost Pat. But I'm gonna just to chime in on the Carnell. Like you said, I think I
no.
heard you on the up. Is he
Am
there?
I back yet?
There we go. You're frozen, but I heard you. But the loss to NYCFC, like you said, Rick was in goal, right? So yeah, really the biggest blemish on his resume right now with the Union is the loss to Nashville. So and then you have the minutes starting Bueno. I think he heard people were calling for Bueno to get minutes. I think he heard the noise for that, and Bueno stepped in, and he answered the bell. He was called upon, and he was able to answer the bell. Like I said, there. Yes, did they? Hold on, is he coming back? I think we got Pat coming back shortly. And are we there? You there? Nope. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
There, am I here?
Here we go. Here we go.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, sorry
I
about
was talking
that.
about Bueno. I was talking about Bueno in his minutes and what Carnell he had the faith to put in him. He's going to give these guys minutes. He said it at the press conference today. Within the month of May, with all the matches that they have, he's going to get minutes. Everyone's going to get playing time now. So I think the rotation that he has, giving Bruno minutes, giving him a start, like you said, Ty's going to be coming off the bench. And no one skips a beat. Everyone I feel like is bought in too, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I again, Bruno, who's been dealing with injury, comes in plug and play, plug and play. Everybody is plugging and playing for Bradley Cornell. This comes back to Bradley Cornell and his playbook, Monday through Friday, still competition after the week. Like he's not about words, he's about business. And look, top three in the East right now with this team, 6-3-1. I mean, you can't ask for a better, start now. I mean, what are we, a little bit more than a quarter away now into the season?
Just about, yep, just about.
I mean, this team has looked really good. This team has looked really, really good. For the most part, I can't complain. We got to talk about Daniel Jean-Jacques. And this guy, you talk about coming out of nowhere and plugging and playing. His goal on Saturday
Beautiful,
was
right?
absolutely filthy. The way he was making plays coming up the field and scoring from the 18th mark in. I mean, really good stuff. Really good stuff right there.
I was impressed with it. And I think, I don't know, but has the absence of Gazdag being there in midfield and needing the ball at his feet, has that opened up and given Danley the more freedom and the green light to kind of showcase, because he's got footwork, like dang well when he can hit the dance floor. You see him out there, I'm sure after a goal he's going to be hitting something after, because I predict a few more goals for him this season.
Yeah, and again, this was my theory: is this an inferior opponent that he's looking good in? But listen, these are building blocks. Last week he got a nice goal. This week he's making plays. He's taking the ball off field, shooting from distance. He's looked good in the last two games. My man Daniel Jacques. So again, you have to be happy what you're seeing in the performance that he's given to the Union fans. And like you and I have talked about in our last show, how is life going to go on without Daniel Gozak? Whether is the Union front office nuts for making this move? And no, they're not. They are continuing to build within. They continue to build, and they got like one of the best academies, from the young kids to Union 2, all the way up the line, the pipeline. I mean, they know how to develop players. This is one of the best farm systems I've seen in the MLS. And where did Daniel Jack come from? Right? I mean, just these are the little minor moves that the Union made. Came in, plugged and played, and has looked good.
And dang, there was something else I was just getting ready to say. And I lost the thought that I was gonna that I was gonna
That's all right.
Go ahead.
So
It'll
my
come back
next
to me.
so my next thing is too, going into it. Here goes another one. Bruno Diani. Where did he come from? How good has he been? Last week, Uncle Johnny asking, or 2 weeks ago, Uncle Johnny asking Bradley Cornell, is Bruno going to step up and do something here? When can we expect him start, picking up the pace a little bit? And he must have heard that, because, I mean, Bruno Diami was being gripped up, and he still bulldozed his way and finds the back of the net. It was unbelievable. I mean, he was literally being gripped up by the defender, and he bulldozed and finds the back of the net.
Bully ball.
Bully
he bullied
ball.
him. That was some bullying.
Yes.
So he kind of like answered that bell. Like, I don't know, like, if he heard that question from old Johnny boy, but it was like, no. And it was great, because you know what? He got the start the game before, right? The match before, and didn't skip a beat coming off the bench the next match, right? And you want to know, I've been critical of him in the past. I think Ua has played great. I think I think he has really found his role in the offense and where he fits in. And I've been really impressed with him. And I remember what I was going to say. Lukic. All this was done without Lukic, because he was out because of the red card, the double yellow from the Atlanta game, right? So, yes, is DC a bottom of the barrel team? Yes. But did they handle their business? I mean, 3-0 beatdown, right? So I think with those sort of, they're fighting through adversities, and then coming into Montreal, one thing Carnell has him. No, he's got blinders on him. He's got them focused. He got the Bill Belichick mindset, right? They're not thinking about May 10th and Gazdag's return. They're not thinking about the U.S. Open Cup and possibly going on a run for that. Their mindset is just on Montreal, and I that's what I love.
Oh, I see, man. I want to back you up on something you said that really caught my eye. I want to go talk about Miguel Ua, right? And this is why I want to talk about Ua, because Miguel Ua, we mentioned guys who find their roles being the assist guy, being the facilitator. We talked about Kai Wagner. We talked about Quinn Sullivan. We talked about Frankie Westfield. In the game, in the moments, in crunch time, giving up the good shot for the great shot, Ua does just that. He makes the pass with that quick. He makes the drop pass. He makes the little side kick. Whatever he needs to do, he gives up the good shot for the great shot, and then he facilitates it for someone else to take. Makes that banger of a goal. And and if he gets himself open into a play, he's filthy as well. So I gotta give. You were talking about someone like you just mentioned. It's someone who found their role, someone who found their niche in this team.
Yeah.
Who has found his niche just being the facilitator in nice spots.
And the one thing too that I like, to go back on Carnell and to keep giving him praise, he's giving everyone just enough minutes so that whenever they're called upon, hey, if you're going to start or you're going to come off the bench, guess what? There's going to be another time where the roles are reversed, right? You have your main guys, right? Everyone knows who the main guys are, right? Who are going to get their minutes. The way that the midfield, the depth at midfield has allowed, I think, the lack of depth at center back has kind of shed some has kind of helped deflect, the deficiencies in the center back position sometimes, right? And the lack there of depth, because Harry's still playing out of position. So I think this month is a big month for, is this mindset in theory going to work with the lack of center back depth versus the cream of the crop? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot to this. Again,
It'll be a fun month. It's gonna be a fun month.
I think the Union have what 8 or 9 games that Bradley Cornell
Yeah.
brought up about. Hey, listen, they're going to have a busy week, a busy schedule, a lot of fatigue. But again, you just mentioned a lot. I mean, yes, he can. His formations are going to be different. He's probably going to give a lot of those YouTube kids a lot of time to to showcase a little bit. This is what they want to do. Maybe Oliver Silver might have to see some action. Who knows? Whatever dice he's going to roll with it. So it's going to be nice to see. Again, busy week coming up here. Got Montreal coming up, and he's treating this Montreal like they're Miami. He's treating this as just as hard. What he mentioned earlier today, there was 3 points on the board. But let's get into the main star, the rock and roll himself. Let's get into Andre Blake, who has 2 back-to-back shutouts, 4 clean sheets, up to date, one of the best goaltenders in the league, and the stuff he does, it just routine ground balls that he's picking up, whether he's making big time stops. There's nothing. I mean, when Andre Blake is fully healthy, look at last year. He was dealing with some pains. He had a busy schedule himself. He got worn up, but now Andre Blake, fully healthy, he is a wolf spider between the net. There's nothing that really gets by him. I mean, it's almost to get through his little spider web. It's hard to get to the back of net. I mean, he comes up with these huge blocks. Like I said, whether it's routine picking up balls, whether it's making diving stops, there's nothing getting through to Andre Blake. What do you say?
And it's not even his, like you said, the spider webs, right? It's almost like a spidey sense, because some of these saves that he's making, he makes them look so routine, right? He makes them look easy. And so I just think he knows where to position himself. He knows when to get his guys in position. And it's, I can't imagine how much tape he must watch, right? And he's another guy for Andrew Rick, right? You talked about what Wagner's done for Frankie. Someone like him to be able to have in the locker room to watch and train with. Look at Andrew Rick. It's rubbed off. And the one thing I hate to think about the past. Imagine if Blake would have been able to been more healthy last season, but he's healthy now, and back to back. I think it was 80 now, 80 MLS clean sheets. He's got 100 across like all competitions, but I think 80 MLS clean sheets now, which is like, it's crazy.
And just think about it. I mean, just think what we just said, 80 clean sheets alone in MLS. I mean, the way and I want to ask this to Bradley. I mean, the game is breaking down for him. The game, he's reading what the strikers are throwing at him. I mean, granted, like you and I just said, the defenders in front of him help, but there's times where the defenders are getting beaten and they're coming right at him, and he's reading what leg, how they want to strike, how they want to kick the ball at him, whether they want to go top shelf, whether they're trying to go down low. He's reading it, and it's coming, and it's breaking down slowly. Like it's like the Matrix. Like when he sees the balls come right by and he's making those saves. I mean, it's unreal the way he produces out there on the field. I mean, again, Andre Blake, man, just like you said, just being a leader and being one of those guys that the Oliver Silvers, the Andre Ricks look up to and want to be like and want to play like. I mean, he's a true role model for a lot of the kids out here in the local area. Like, if anybody wants to be a goaltender in this area, just look at Andre Blake. I've always like, to me, as Philadelphians, I got, as far as skill, and I know people might think I'm nuts, but as far as skills, I got, we got the Saquons, we got the Andre, we got the Saquon Barkleys, we got Jalen Hurts, we got the Bryce Harpers, we still got, when healthy, the Joel Embiids, but
Mitch Kopp,
everyone,
right? Mitch Kopp.
You got the Mitch Kopps, you got the Bryce Harpers, you got the Jalen Hurts, the Saquons, but you can't overlook Andre Blake and what he's done between the pipes for a very long time for the Philadelphia Union. He's the reason they made it to the championship 3 years ago. He's the reason they're on the run now. And, having that interview with Daniel Gazdag, when Andre Blake's back there, he's your security blanket. You don't have to overstress and come up with big plays and make dumb plays on offense, knowing he's back there and doing his job and making sure stuff's being handled on his end. You can make the fine play. Now you can make whatever play you want to go into and execute with, because he's back there going to make some stops. So now you can work on everything. It's not like, well, your goalie's getting cooked, so we got to try and keep pace with the scoreboard. He's doing his job, and now, all right, the game's coming to us. Let's take care of it from there. So, again, Andre Blake is the reason why this team is on the run, because, again, clean sheets is just amazing.
It's allowed them to be at what? They're at 10 plus 10 for goal differential in second in the league for that. So that's going to make a difference. Those are that goes into tiebreakers, later on if you need that for playoff positioning and everything like that. So and to think, right? Just a few weeks ago and last season, we weren't the only ones saying this. There were others, but we were talking about, is it time for Blake to pass the torch, right? No. And now here we are 10 games into the season talking about how, the reason why they are here in this position is because of him. So it's I think it's time to just be able to sit back and appreciate, Andre Blake each and one of these games, because this could be one of those seasons where it's like something special could be happening.
And you're absolutely right. And again, something can occur where something goes where we can make this run. Okay, yes, Union fans, I get it. And look, I'm one of those guys. You may not be bought in, and I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you because they beat inferior opponents, because they beat Atlanta, because they beat up on DC. I get it. You don't have to be all in. Maybe you want to wait till the Columbus game. Maybe you want to wait till you see Miami in a couple of weeks, later down this month. You may want to wait till then to say to yourself, all right, this is the measuring stick. This is how good we really are. But, I've seen the Sharks of the world now struggling. They look like they came back down in reality. Columbus is not always going to be great to, they got their walls. I mean, when the Union are at their best and it starts from inside out, it starts from your goalie and the protection he's getting, and then the offense and the strikers and the scoring options that you can make. This is the map on the paperwork is easy for Bradley Cornell. He just puts, again, throw him more rose petals. He just connects the dots here. He knows what he has them from. He's watched his team over the years. There's probably been rumors that he was going to get this job at some point, but he knows how to connect the dots here. He knows how to build the game from inside out, and it's come down to him easily. And it's working for everybody. And like I said, a lot of Union fans probably thought he was nuts for moving on with Gazdag. You and I were trying to come up with an idea. How can we live without Gazdag? So far, so good.
This is how you do it, right? Good, impressive team wins. Because this is back-to-back games now that it's 3 different goal scorers. It's not like it's just the tie show. right? It's
Right.
not like it's just, the Quinn show at games. It's a full team effort, right? And it goes into, again, to give Cardinal praise, timely subs, not waiting to see if, oh, well, I'm going to give him, 3 or 4 more minutes to see if things can switch around. No, just he is ready to pull the trigger it's time for you to come out. It's time for you to come out, and he's playing guys. And I think I'll keep saying it. This month is the measuring stick for the season moving forward. And I think this is going to be the month that we're going to be sitting here talking. What, May 31st, you got Dallas, who just beat Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the month, you start with a bottom of the barrel team, and you end with a team that's at the top of on their side over there in the West. So we're going to be sitting here sometime in June, a few days after, thinking, all right, where are we at now? Where is this team at? So we're either going to be talking a whole different conversation, or we're going to be sitting here going, yep, this is exactly what we thought, going into Montreal.
And I think, and again, I mean, I think Bradley Cornell wants to put that pressure on himself. Yeah, he wants to compete with the Columbuses of the world. Yeah, I want to compete with
I
the
like that.
Miamis. Yeah, I want to compete with the Miamis of the world. I want to compete with the Columbuses of the world. I want to be looked at like I could beat the measuring stick. I can outsmart any of those coaches over there. I want to prove why we moved on from down Gazlag was the right idea. But we're going to take our time. We're going to get some. This is again get the my famous quote: the get right game. See, again, just treat this like it's another day at the office. Treat this like there's 3 points, like he said today, 3 points on the line. Let's go. But like I said, one thing I've liked about what you said, and look what I liked about Bradley Carnell, it's not the same formation. He throws different players, different rotations. It's not always going to be a Ty Burrell starting. Like you said, all right, Ua, you're going to start. You're going to get paired with Quinn Sullivan, and let's rock what we worked on this. I mean, there's different formations that Bradley Cornell, throws at you. It's going to be Ty Burrell coming off the bench. It's going to be him starting. It's plug and play. As soon as these guys get onto the field, they want to boom, 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 execute the play, find the back of net. Boom, boom, boom. If you're on the defense side ball, protect Andre Blake. Let's keep his life easy. It's those kind of things. And like you said, it's our second half. Who am I going to go to? Boom, you're going to get in and you're going to plug and play, plug and play, plug and play. I mean, he does, like I said, I just love how the fact that the team has bought in Bradley Cornell's playbook from Fang, from the bench to the starters. I mean, the whole squad is bought into his playbook. And again, give him credit. Give this man, Bradley Cornell, credit. He may not be the holly jolly guy like Jim Curran was once, getting around, come shaking everyone's hands. He's strictly business. Monday through Friday, practice hard, push each other to the limits, and let's go in there on Saturday and give that team something they don't see. And then he goes into the film room. Let's throw out this formation. Example, Columbus won't see this come out. Let's throw this at Montreal. They won't see this come at him. Like he has different formations. He looks at their tape. He was just talking about how tough Montreal has been looking at a couple of games, how tough they looked against Rebels. Like he's already in the laboratory working on the next project, dialing up something. So again, give that guy his props.
I was just getting ready to say before we wrap up this segment, it's funny how in certain sports, right, we look at the Phillies and we complain about, I don't know about you, but I do. I complain about the lineup changing, game in, game out, right? And then we're over here talking MLS and talking Union, and we're like, you know what? I love that he switches up the lineup. I love that he gets guys these minutes. It's just wild, right? It's just wild that's the that can be the mindset for different sports and everything like that. But that was the first. That's what I was laughing at in my head when you were talking about that.
It's funny you say that too, because like, isn't that weird? Like you look at like a Bryce Harper batting third or Alec Bowen batting eighth, and it's like, oh, why is he batting eighth? But I guess it's just the way that Bradley Cornell is. Just all business, and I thought it would be hard. It was going to be hard for the fans to kind of latch on to. It was going to be hard for the players to bring in a new head coach that some of these guys never got a chance to really work with. I want to say most of these guys didn't get a chance to work with. But when you have a message, and this is no longer the honeymoon stage, because the honeymoon stage is 3 or 4 games over. People's, other teams are starting to pick up on your playbook, and then you throw it and then you make the right adjustments. Like, think about that, Steve. He was blowing teams away, like the Orlandos early on. He was winning pretty big, and then Nashville and a couple other teams started to pick up on what he was trying to disguise, and then he disguises something else, and then he throws something else out. And then Ty Burry was coming to the bench, and we're going to throw this out. Okay, we don't need down guys like I'm going to plug and play somebody else. Wait, what? This is going to work? Like, he has so many different options. Monday through Friday, pushing each other hard through practice. He's in the laboratory studying his opponent. Brother Cornell needs a lot more than given, and he's got to be right now. If he gets his team to the playoffs alone, he should probably be Coach of the Year.
Yeah, and I'm going to say it now. I really can see them finishing in third, right where they're at.
Oh man,
in the East, I really can. So
I appreciate it, but
thank you, Luis, for chiming in.
Thank you for chiming in. I'm just trying to. Yeah, I mean, appreciate it.
It was a great comment. That's what it was. That's all I know it was.
Yeah,
big Union fan, my guy Luis.
Love it. Definitely appreciate it, Luis. But yeah, let's get into one of our favorite subjects. Let's get into around the league and games to watch out for, because there's like 11 games going on, but I think I found 2 that are must watch. So let's get into it. Let's get into, again, Philadelphia going to Montreal this Saturday night. Who do you have?
I have another shutout. I'm close with Joe's prediction. I have it being a 2-0. I'm worried. I'm worried just because you don't want Montreal to get their first win, right, against the Union and everything. So that's like the big fear that I have. But I think that they've been given they've shown enough to be given the benefit of the doubt that I think they can go in and handle business. So I got 2-0 win.
Yeah, I have a 2-3-0 win. I think they get 9 goals and 9 points. I think this is a big time. I don't think, just go off of Brother Cornell's message, they're not going to take this as a trap game. This is not going to be easy. I think they get the dub here Saturday night handily. You have Nashville Saturday afternoon going to Atlanta.
This is gonna be a good one. This one's on Fox at 2:45. So yes. So this is national. So I think this could be a good one. I think Atlanta's going to give them a run for the money, but I think Nashville's playing good soccer right now. So I think Nashville's going to ultimately handle business.
I'm going to go with Nashville. I think Mukhtar is going to go to ATL and slap those boys around. We have New England heading up to Toronto.
How about New England, right? We always say it. MLS is that sport in that league that a team who was the bottom of the barrel last year, the next season, they could be a playoff team. And they put some good performances together the last few games. So I think they continue. I think they get a win.
I'm going to go 1-1. I think it's going to be 1-1.
Oh, there's the draw. There's the draw.
That's my first draw. We have the New York Red Bulls traveling down the South Beach.
Red Bulls heading. Miami, I think I don't know. I don't know if Messi's going to play because they just got they just lost to Vancouver in I think it was the Champions Cup. So they technically have 3 losses in a row. You have the 2 losses from Vancouver in
they dropped down to 5 seed,
and then they lost to Dallas in MLS play. So I think they bounce back, and even if Messi doesn't play, I still think. I think they win.
I think so too. Give me a 1-0 win over the Red Bulls. I think they take it to the Red Bulls. DC is hosting Colorado.
I don't know because Benteke didn't play versus the Union, and neither did Peglo. So I think it all depends. If those guys aren't playing, I think Colorado wins. I think if Benteke plays, even if one of those guys plays, I can see them being a big enough factor that DC can get a win.
Give me Colorado. All right. One of my games to look out for this weekend, Columbus hosting Charlotte.
This is my draw. But I have
This
Gazdag
is a
getting his
draw.
first goal with Columbus. I have him getting his first goal with Columbus because it can't be his first goal with Columbus cannot be May 10th versus the Union.
Here.
It cannot
Oh
be.
man.
So I'm trying to talk it into existence. He gets his first goal with Columbus versus Charlotte, but I'm gonna go with a 2-2 draw. 2-2 draw.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the upper. I'm gonna go with the hometown. I'm gonna go Columbus taking to Charlotte. Give me a 2-1 late Columbus win. Columbus is going to take it. Here we go. Chicago hosting Orlando.
Ooh, this could be a good game. This could be like low key one of the games of the week. I like Orlando though. I like Orlando.
I think this is going to be your sleeper. Chicago is taking a 1-0 win.
I don't know how to pronounce his
I think
last name. I'm going to
Chicago's
butcher it. Coopers. He's tied with Baribo up there for the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
MLS, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you might be right. Chicago might be able to pull this one out. I saw a tweet right before we got on from Tom Bogart saying that Kevin De Bruyne from Manchester City is favored now. Chicago's favored to land him in the summer. So,
oh man,
that'd be crazy.
Mm-hmm. I can't. Speaking of FIFA coming here June 18th, guy, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I might have to go cover that. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Another game of the week. Sleeper team is actually making their way up the ranks in the West Coast. Austin, Texas, hosting Minnesota.
And two teams coming off L's too. Two good teams, right? So this is going to be, I think there's a lot of good games on. There's a lot of good games on this week.
Yes.
Give me Minnesota. I like Minnesota to get the win.
You want Minnesota to get the win. I'm going to go with the sleeper. Minnesota just lost to Vancouver. I think give me Texas. Texas is hosting. Philadelphia Union. Football. Man. So I need my main Gus here.
He's talking about Martinez. I'm pretty sure over there playing for Corinthians over in Brazil. And yeah, he's thriving over there. Luis, he's thriving over there. Martinez playing for Corinthians. I'm happy for him. I'm pretty sure they won a championship. He won. I don't know what it is. I don't follow that league too much, but I think I saw Jose, the great Jose, tweeting something a few weeks ago about how they Corinthians and Martinez winning a championship. So happy for him.
Let's go San Diego hosting Dallas.
I like Dallas. I think what Acosta is doing over there, he's picking up right where he left off really with Cincinnati. I think that was a big win for Dallas last week against Miami. So I think they continue and they get the win.
I think Dallas is going to win a 3-1 over there. Up in San Diego. San Diego looks like they're slowly coming back down to earth. We have Vancouver hosting Salt Lake City. I'm going to go with the red hot Vancouver.
Okay, see, I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go Salt
Okay.
Lake. I think Vancouver's been right. The Union had this a few seasons ago where they played in so many games, so many, they progressed so far, at least the semifinals. So, um, I think, I think Salt Lake with a little bit of an upset.
Mm-hmm. Um, what do we got here? Delete side. There you go.
Yeah, no, that one I don't know. That one I got nothing on. Maybe
Yeah.
something when. Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna try to guess. I got Salt Lake.
uh, okay, you got Salt Lake. Seattle taking on hosting St. Louis.
You know what? I got another draw. I think this
Okay.
could be a good game, right? 10:30 to put on your Seattle Sounders. This is a
Yes.
good game to
Yes.
go to sleep to. This is a good game to fall asleep to.
Yes. Yes. I think this is going to be a 0-0 draw.
Oh
St.
dang, not even no goals. 0-0
No.
draw.
0-0. Just gonna you might as well just go there, get your popcorn, and just relax. San Jose hosting Portland. Portland, I think, takes the dub.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think they're another team that the West is kind of stacked. They have a lot
Okay.
of good teams over there. So I think Portland is one of those teams. I think they get the win too.
Wow. Okay. Let's go to you said Portland. When Joe Hale says when's the next Union home game? Next May 7th. May 7th.
Wednesday. Yep, the US
Wednesday.
Open Cup game.
USA,
Yep.
and then May 10th is against Columbus. So then you have our boy, Mr. Houston. Houston's going to LAFC, so you'll get to see Mr. What's his name out there? I already forgot about him. Um,
Yeah, me
man, what
too.
am I
Who?
drawing? What are we? Yeah, what am
McGlynn.
I drawing? Like
McGlynn.
McGlynn, Mr. McGlynn going out there to take on LAFC.
I think that he is finding his his role over
Mm-hmm.
there for Houston. So and I think they're starting to mesh and build something over there. So a lot
Okay.
of draws for them, but I think they get the win versus LAFC.
Okay, we have NYC FC hosting. This is Sunday, 3 o'clock against Cincinnati.
You see, I want to go NYCFC just because it's like, this run that Cincinnati's on has to end sometime.
Yes.
I think I think it continues. I think they get the win.
Same. I'm going to go with Patrick Noonan, and I'm going to go with the Cincinnati FC. And then you have the late night Sunday night game. Kansas City hosting LA Galaxy, the champions.
Oh man, do they get their first win of the season? I don't know. I don't think so. I think Kansas City gets the win.
You're going to go Kansas City. I'm going to
Yeah.
go. Yeah, I'm going to go Kansas City as well.
Oh,
So
I
there
thought
you
you were going to predict their first win.
No. I'm not
That's
going to go there
wild.
yet. Not going to go there yet. So everyone, well, that's going to pretty much do it for us here on It's Rough Sports, the Attacking Third, Season 5. Is this episode 4? I think it's
Or
episode
yeah, I believe so.
4.
Yeah.
So again, episode
Yeah.
4 in the books. I definitely want to say thank you to all who's watched, to Lewis, to my man Joe L, to everyone's chimed into the comments. Definitely appreciate the love, Ricky, as always, and yeah, everyone, Adam C's as always. I want to say thank you to everyone who's watched, and guys, go Union. We will be back. We'll actually be breaking down 2 games next week because
Yes.
the Union will be playing Saturday, and then they play their first U.S. Open against Indiana. So again, little mixture, a lot of good things about to happen. Guys, stay tuned. Phillies post game right after us. My man Matty B's got you covered, and then so forth. And then the return of PM in the AM this Sunday morning at 9. Oh boy, I'm gonna need some. Oh, there it is. There goes that dope.
Yeah, there it is.
There
There
it
it
is.
is.
I'm gonna need some aspirin dealing with him. There's not enough blood pressure mess in the world to deal with Mike Lauro. But anyway, guys, have a good one and stay tuned and stay happy. See you, everyone. Bye bye.
Later, guys.